Hello everyone, it's Brandon here again for another video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the history of psychedelics and mental health. Let's get started by understanding what happened in shaman cultures that had shamanism within them, and other cultures with medicine men, similar role being played. What happened is people who exhibited symptoms of psychosis or some type of really strange mental illness going on, what we would call a mental illness. They wouldn't really call it a mental illness, but when the event like that occurred, it was understood that that person was meant for a specific role in society. They were meant to be the connector between the spiritual world and the material world. They were going to be the one doing the translation between one world to the next. They had a special gift. These people who we now would diagnose with bipolar disorder or schizophrenia or treatment-resistant depression. All of these people were seen back in the old days to fit a very certain role, and what that role was to use psychedelic plants to heal themselves and others, to gain insight into spirituality and the spiritual world. And they used these psychedelics in a lot of it was frequent how often these people would use psychedelics, and they essentially acted as a bridge between that spiritual world I mentioned and the normal material world that we seem to think is the only thing in Western culture today. Unless you're a Christian. That's basically, those are the two options for most people. So we understand now that people with a mental health disorder would have been picked in the past to become a shaman or medicine man or woman. But now let's start to think about how this could play out in our modern times. One thing to remember is the shaman wasn't the person going out and doing the hunting for the tribe. They were solely focused on getting these insights from the spiritual world, using these psychedelic plants in quite high quantities and very frequently. All of that's going on. Now, how do we translate that into our culture today? What would the perfect culture for people with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia look like? It would be a place where all of your material needs are taken care of. You are no longer required to be a provider for yourself. You will receive decent housing for free, and you will receive food for free and entertainment for free. Your life, all of the normal expenses to a reasonable amount, will be covered by either the state or some organization, so that you can focus on your mission, which is to bring insight down from the divine to the masses. That's what we could be doing. We could be taking these high dose of psychedelics and having what is partially psychotic experiences, but at the same time very spiritually charged experiences. And I'm almost positive that there would be a benefit to society that's worth doing this. I don't think all these other cultures of the past would have focused on such a thing if it provided no value. It actually provides a lot of value, and if people were allowed to do this, if this was supported, we might solve a lot of the existential questions that we're plagued with now. What happens when I die? Is there a God? Things like this. they could all be taken care of by this group of people. It would be a sector of society, the psychotically mentally ill people, taking them and allowing them to use psychedelics at their own pace. I think we would see a lot of creativity come out of that. Probably a lot of good technology. They wouldn't be the people to build the technology. You would need engineers and things to do that. But the ideas that would come through these people, the possibilities that they would see, it would be tremendous. So I've talked a little bit about the history of psychedelics and mental health. We don't have any evidence of anything like microdosing going on, so that kind of goes against what a lot of the research going on now is focused on. Although a lot of the research also focuses on high dose trips and the benefits of those. But yeah, I just want to leave you with this idea that people from other cultures found benefit in bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. They found it actually to be a gift. And our culture does not have a neat role to put these people in that fits with all of the other cultural needs of the system. It doesn't fit well. It would take some adjustment for people to be okay with this. But ultimately, I think one day we will gain enough spiritual awareness generally to where we can understand the benefit that these people have spiritually. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, a like. That helps me